On Friday night, the championship starts all over again. 24 teams battling out for those automatics playoffs. You get the mid-table bunch, and you get the few teams that are looking nervously over their shoulder with the fear of relegation. I'm here to predict the whole table. It's a tradition, of course, for these football content creators on YouTube. I've left it a little late, but I think you get an advantage leaving it late, sort of. I mean, maybe it's a little bit cheating, but you know, get to see more of the transfers. So I thought now is the perfect time to do it. Let's waste no time. Let's get into it. If you are new, do feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Be massively appreciative. And of course, championship score prediction starts this week as well. I'll leave the link to the Discord server down below if you still want to join in the predictions. Me and NFFCO and one of my mates online are running a whole prediction league, and it's all the information you need for it is down in the server. So if you like predictions, do feel free to join up. But without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with 24th place, I think probably the most obvious shout in the whole table, and it's really sad to put them here, but it's Sheffield Wednesday. It's just a mess what's going on with Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, isn't it? And it's all the fault of Chansiri. Surely he needs to sell soon. He's not doing any good for the club. Their biggest loss, I would argue, is their manager, Danny Röhl. You know, maybe if he was still there, you would think, okay, Sheffield Wednesday may have a little bit of a chance. You know, it's a similar situation to what Derby had a few years ago. They got a massive, 21-point deduction in the end. They had I would say, a decent manager at the time, Wayne Rooney. That's probably the only decent job he did, but they've lost Danny Röhl, and now I think it's Henrik Pedersen who's taken charge, isn't it? One of their assistant managers. So zero experience managing the championship, and he's got the toughest job in the championship because he's got a threadbare squad. You know, let's just see the likes of Gassama going to Rangers, and Musaba goes to Turkey. One of their centre backs, Hickway, goes to Blackpool. The other centre back, Akin Fenwo, to Hull. Callum Patterson to MK Dons. Delicious goes on. Smith to Preston. Windass to Wrexham. It's just, Barry Baden has actually stayed. I mean, fair play to him. He's Wednesday till he dies, isn't he? But nah, I just can't see it happening. You know, it's just a real shame. I think for Sheffield Wednesday, for the fans, what they would be hoping for is just have a club this season. You know, but no matter if they're they're just a mess right now, and they're going to go down. They just want a club. Hopefully, they can find take over very soon. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday go down 24th. Probably the easiest prediction I will have to make in this video. But yeah, I hope it doesn't happen. But it doesn't really look good at Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. But let's move on to 23rd, where again I don't want this team to go down. I don't want any team to go down, really. But that's the thing. I mean, they have 3 teams have to get relegated. But so in 23rd, we've got Oxford United. Now, a little bit controversial maybe, because they do have a decent manager in Gary Rowett, who came in when Des Buckingham wasn't quite getting the results, and he kept them up. To be fair to him, but I just feel like lost a bit of experience in the midfield. Josh McEachran leaving to Bristol Rovers, and in the defence with Joe Bennett leaving. Ruben Rodriguez is the big one who's gone to a team in Brazil. But they brought in the Kishmaker midfielder from the Dutch league, Brody Spencer, defender from Huddersfield, Luke Harris on loan from Fulham. Signed a couple of strikers that I'm not too familiar with. Prelic on loan from Cagliari. I think it's like Slovenian. Will Lancashire I'm more familiar with. He was at West Brom. Don't think he scored last season in the second half he had. But he's coming on loan from Spurs. I just think, yeah, it's a much more competitive league this year than last year, I do believe. It's so difficult to predict this championship, and I feel like Oxford is just going to get left behind. You know, I'm sorry if you're an Oxford fan, but Yeah, I'm writing you off again. We all wrote you off last year, and look what you did. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we're Prince to go down. Maybe you can 5 odds again. I hope you can. But 23rd, I've got Oxford, 22nd place now. This is definitely controversial because this team had a massive upturn in form towards the end of last season and nearly got in the playoffs. I've seen quite a few people predicting this team's going down, and it's Blackburn Rovers. You see, Blackburn, they could be anywhere on the table. They're probably the most unpredictable team, really. Season before last season, they were down in relegation, but had their goal and a beat winning in Sammy Smolniks. It's just crazy. They could be anywhere. The owners, there's a bit of a disconnect between the owners and the fans. I assume that's why half the ground is empty, because fans sort of a protest against the owners. Not that it's not as bad as what Sheffield Wednesday are doing with Chancery, but no, they're not actually doing it any good for the club. For example, they keep losing big players for no money. We had Brenton Diaz a couple of years ago. Now we've got Torres Dolan leaving on a free to Espanyol. A player of that quality, they needed to get a fee for him. They should have sorted out his contract way sooner than they did. It's a real kick in the teeth to lose Dolan on a free, isn't it, for Blackburn? But let's talk about some of their incomings. De Neve from Belgium, also a fullback Ryan Alabiusi from Belgian league as well. A couple more defenders, Sean McLaughlin from Hull, and Lewis Miller from Hibernian. I think he's a left back as well, because they lost Callum Britton to Middlesbrough, which was sort of a big loss, but I think they got a decent amount of money for him. Jay Ryan Casale's gone to Charlton as well. They got Cindy Tavares from Portugal as well. So yeah, I just feel like they're lacking a bit of creativity with Dolan leaving, and a bit of firepower up front, to be honest. Ohashi, he was their top goal scorer, got a couple of goals, but again, with the competitiveness in the Championship, I don't think it'd be enough. So 22nd, I've got Blackburn. Now 21st, this team could easily go down. I feel like they probably need a little bit of a reset, but they have been on the downward trajectory for a while. It is Preston North End. They narrowly survived last year, and I think they'll just get over the line again. None of our signings really excite me, to be fair. I got the goalkeeper Eveson back from Leicester. He was with them a couple of seasons ago. Preston fans loved him there, because Freddie Whitman went to Liverpool to be their sort of third choice goalkeeper. Thierry Small, probably the one that excites me the most, left back from Charlton. They got Michael Smith, good experience up front from Wednesday. Backup goalkeeper and Jack Walton from Luton. Jebison on loan from Bournemouth is interesting. Vukovic from the Mexican League, another fullback. I think he's Montenegrin. I'm pretty sure that's the same nationality as Osmaj, so maybe I have a little bit of a connection there. Obviously, Osmaj is a bit of a controversial player, but yeah. Ofire, centre back from Brighton. He was at Blackpool last year on loan, did alright. I lost some experience like Jack Watmore, Ryan Ledson, and Maurice has gone to Bristol City. Both to Huddersfield, Jack Watmore and Ledson have gone to Keon Best, Chelsea. Yeah, it's alright for Preston. I don't think they're going to set the world alight. 20th place. Now, if I did this prediction a few weeks ago, I probably have this team in the bottom three, but this team's done brilliant business. It's Charlton Athletic. I do think they'll stay up. Brilliant business. The likes of winner Rob Apton from Blackpool, Sonny Carey in the midfield from Blackpool, and Juve signed another player from Blackpool, Alafe from Stockport, striker, Kelman from QPR. I'm sure a lot of Championship teams were looking at Kelman. Scored so many goals for Leyton Orient last season. Nearly won Herschel with them through the playoffs. Of course, they lost out to Charlton in the final. Nibs from Reading, and a couple of defenders, Nathan Jones knows from starting Luton, like Reece Burke, Amari Bell, Kaminsky in goal. yeah, their only major outgoing really is Thierry Small to Preston. So I think they're doing brilliant business. They got a manager in who knows the league well, got into the playoffs with Luton, and then, left them to go to Southampton. That didn't go so well, but sort of rebuilding stock a little bit at Charlton. I think Charlton will be safe, 20th place. Yeah, not too many fears of relegation. I'm sure Charlton fans will take that 20th place. 19th now. Again, similar to Preston, probably another team that just need a reset, but I think we're good enough to stay up. I mean, no matter what signings this team makes, they always come here. It's Stoke. Stoke for the past few years, people have looked at and gone, they've made exciting signings. They could challenge for playoffs, and it never works out. But Sorba Thomas from Huddersfield, defender Talavera from Plymouth. I think he's a solid defender, isn't he? So on a couple of strikers, Robert Bosnick from Boavista and Mubama on loan from Man City. Exciting one. We've got Ashley Phillips in the defence, back from Spurs. We lost Berger to Hoffenheim, which is a bit of a blow. So Dibe goes to PSV as well. Lyndon Gooch to Huddersfield. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it, for Stoke? It's all right. It's just Stoke in 19th, isn't it? 18th now. Now, this team is a real wild card. It's Hull City in 18th. At the time of recording, there's heavy rumours that McBurney could sign. I think it may even be announced by the time you watch this video, but if he joins, then maybe Hull could be a little bit higher. This maybe is, well, I wouldn't say getting to the teams where I could push a playoffs, but certainly the upper mid-table. You just got the massive mid-table, bunch of teams really. But Gustavo Puerta in the midfield for Bayer Leverkusen, they got one a permanent this time. Dylan Phillips, a backup goalkeeper from Charlton. I don't think he's going to come in and take the number one spot from Panda, isn't it? He's a brilliant keeper, by the way. I think it's decent business, to be fair, for Hull, even with this fee restriction. So, yeah, 18th, I've got Hull. Not too shabby, that I don't think, man. Hopefully it can push on in the next few years. So, yeah, 18th, I've got Hull City. 17th now, they're going to survive once again. It's Portsmouth. They got a really good squad. Definitely a squad good enough to survive. A decent manager as well, and John Mousinho, I like him. They keep signing, like they did it last summer. They signed some players from the Australian League. You've got to think for that. Sajovic from Sydney FC. The one I'm most sort of excited for, is John Swift. Obviously, probably the most known player there. You know what you get from him. Tailed off a little bit in his West Brom days. But for Reading, he was unplayable at times. So if Portsmouth can get the John Swift out at Reading, then they'll be doing all right, won't they? Obviously, we've still got Josh Murphy. He was really influential for Pompey last year. Colby Bishop up front. Not really lost anyone too major. They've all gone to the league below, or a team in Scotland, with Yengi Aberdeen, for example. The rest have all gone to the league below. So yeah, decent business for Portsmouth. Another solid team of championship for them, 17th. And 16th. Now this team probably are building quite an exciting squad. New manager as well for them in Julian Stefan. Hull, I've got a new manager as well. I forgot to mention that with Sekirovic. He sacked Sellers, which is still mad. But it's Julian Stefan. He's done a bit in France, I think. So this is interesting because they lost Cifuentes to Leicester in the end. He already left before the Leicester move. Bit of a sour note he left QPR on, with being on garden leave, which was strange. But yeah, Kwame Poku from Peterborough. That's the big one, isn't it? Burrell sort of seems like a similar type to Poku, with it being doing really well on being that tricky winner for Burton last season. He was Burton's talisman. He scored quite a few goals. Burton are gutted to lose him, I imagine. And then in Bengi in defence from Reading, and just lost Kelman to Charlton, but Kelman was never really getting in that squad, wasn't he? Kind of Powell leaves, Anderson leaves. Solid business for QPR. I really do like it. And 15th, I've got Watford. Watford again, new manager in Pep Solano. I think he's managing a bit in Spain, South America. Listen, it's an unknown. You know, you just don't know how these managers are going to do with the ownership of Watford is. It's cutthroat. You can win like 3 games in a row, and then you're sacked just like that. But yeah, Cipriano in the midfield from Peterborough. A couple of strikers like some Semedo and Kieran Guard. I'm pretty sure Bristol City were looking at Kieran Guard. He was a Danish striker from Odense, isn't it? But he went to Udinese, and obviously, Watford had to pick him up, didn't they? Again, solid business. Maybe not the firepower that they have. Bio isn't the most clinical, isn't he? I don't know. Maybe Kieran Guard or Semedo can help with that. But yeah, 15th, not bad for Watford. Probably not where I want to be, because you would associate Watford with being a team pushing for promotion a couple of seasons ago, but now it dropped off a little bit. But 15th, solid season for Watford. In 14th now, it is Derby County. John Eustace is, Derby have actually made some great signings, some signings of intent. Really, they've been ambitious. Agyman, striker from Charlotte FC, he looks like he's going to score plenty of goals. Up front with Carlton Marsh from Luton as well. The experience of Danny Bath and Andrew Spahn from Blackburn. He's getting the band back together in the uses of Sanderson back. He worked with him at Blackburn and at Birmingham. Bobby Clark on loan from Salzburg. Ozo's back from Crystal Palace. Owen Beck on loan from Liverpool. Brewster from Sheffield United. Yeah, and then they haven't really lost anyone as a real note really. Maybe an outside shout for the playoffs. These are the teams where they could be on the outskirts of the playoffs. Literally, it's crazy. There's gonna be so many teams pushing for playoffs this season. It's just just have them all in the playoffs. A massive playoff round. Imagine that. Because all of these teams that I mentioned here, they deserve a chance in the playoffs. In 13th now, I think quite a few people gonna have varied opinions on this team, on where they're gonna finish. It's Middlesbrough in 13th for me. Obviously, new manager, actually sacked Michael Carrick. They brought in Rob Edwards. Obviously, got Luton up in his first season. Came down from the Prem and didn't do so well, didn't he? So, but once again, he has got the experience of getting a team promoted with probably a less budget than Middlesbrough do have. They lost Coburn to Millwall. Johnny Elton's left. Dykes was left as well. Maybe you just need a little bit more firepower. Tommy Conway can't do it all on his own. He's a good player, but I think he needs that sort of latter player with him to really get the best out of him and get the best out of Borough next season. Again, Middlesbrough could surprise a lot of us with a new manager as well. Speaking of teams that could surprise us, I mean, everybody's gonna have this team in different places. But I've gone safe. I've gone slap bang in the middle with Wrexham. Now they are spending. There's rumours they could get, who is it, Broadhead. Might even be announced by the time you guys are watching this video. We've got Kiefer Moore. We've got Ryan Hardy, Caresi from Empoli, fullback. Got Danny Ward. I think surely he'll be back up to Okonkwo. Quite like Okonkwo. I think he's got good potential in goal. Lewis O'Brien. I bet Tristan's fuming at Swansea couldn't get him back. Brilliant operator in the midfield. Josh Windass from Wednesday's top goal scorer last season. Thomason in the midfield from Bolton. The list goes on really. Connor Cody. Yeah, not lost anyone massive really. So they could get into the playoffs. Possibly, I don't reckon top 2. But that's no disrespect to Wrexham. They could go and prove us wrong. They could literally go and finish anywhere. Wrexham is the biggest wild card this season. It's mad. But we get a decent season still for Deadpool FC in 12th, to be fair. In 11th, I've got Bristol City. Obviously, new manager. I've of course, with Gerhard Schruber, because Liam Manning went to Norwich, where they're spending big now. You know, we get on to Norwich in a minute, but yeah, really 3 signings really of worth, really. Adam Randall from Plymouth in the midfield. Striker Emil Reese, he looks good in pre-season. Sort of looks like that natural finisher, which is what we've been lacking really. So I'm happy with that. Vitek on loan for goalkeeper from Man United, because Max O'Leary is out for a few months at the start of the season. Signs Joe Lumley, a goalkeeper as well. You know, but Vitek saved a penalty in our last pre-season match against Real Valladolid. So, you know, he's already had a good start for City, hasn't he? Naki Wells leaves to Luton. McGuane goes, and midfielder goes to Huddersfield. You know, not too shabby, not amazing, but you know, just what we need. In 10th place, I've got Swansea. Swansea, obviously Tristan's team. Obviously Tristan watches the channel quite a fair bit. And I think he'll be happy with 10th, to be fair. And Usa looks very exciting. That winner from Sweden spent about 5 million, something like that, for him in the end. Burgess from Ipswich, a solid signing, because obviously they'll be good to lose Harry Darden on a free as well to Norwich. Galbraith is a good one in the midfield. So yeah, not too bad for Swansea. I don't know. Potentially maybe another striker, but I don't know. I think the Potnick and Cullen can work well. So yeah, Swansea in 10th, not bad at all. 9th place now, and I've got West Brom. New manager with West Brom in Ryan Mason. Yeah, it was an up and down season with West Brom last year, wasn't it? You know, they had Carlos Corporán in for the first up until Christmas really, and then he went to Valencia. Forgotten Tony Maybury, it didn't quite work out. They got rid of him. You know, with only a few games left of the season, too late to get into the playoffs in the end. So yeah, Ryan Mason, this is his first sort of proper job. He's been at Spurs as a coach for a while. I've got Nat Phillipson from Liverpool. At striker Hegebo from Brann, interesting. Centre back George Campbell from Montreal in the MLS, because they lost Ajay, Swift and Diangana. I like Madja. I think Madja's a decent signing. Just player in general. Obviously we had him last year. So yeah, I think it'll be on the cusp of the playoffs, West Brom, but I think that'll be the team that just missed out. So I've got the Baggies in 9th. In 8th place, these teams could, honestly, they'd be very lucky not to finish in the playoffs. It's a tight league, but I've got Millwall in 8th. Millwall, they've actually probably had one of the best, if not the best, transfer windows, you know, up there with Norwich, really. Krakeme, goalkeeper from Burton. Another goalkeeper, Stephen Bender, on loan from Fulham, because I think their number 1, Jensen, is injured. Bender's a quality goalkeeper. I've seen it at Swansea. Sturridge from Chelsea, got him back. Coburn, of course, Middlesbrough, big striker up front, big physical striker. Doughty from Luton, that's a quality signing, isn't it? You have to say fair play to me on that one. Luongo in the midfield, just brilliant signings. I mean, we haven't really lost. I mean, Honeyman to Blackpool, Saville to Luton, Wallace goes to Huddersfield, bit of experience lost there, but yeah, we needed to freshen up Millwall, and I think we've done that. Alex Neil got bags of experience, managed at this level, so yeah, we just fight Millwall. They could easily get in the playoffs, but I've got them in 8th, and obviously 7th. Nobody wants to finish 7th, don't they? And a lot of people have got this team in the playoffs, but they could get in the playoffs, but it's just, this league is so difficult to predict. I've got Coventry in 7th. They could easily get in the playoffs. Angel Brow from Granada, Kessler Hayden from Aston Villa, spent big money in. Rushworth, the goalkeeper on loan from Brighton. The only major outgoing is Lewis Binks, who's gone to Bromby. Basically still got like some Rudoni, Van Avek still there at the time of recording, so they could still do it. thing is, though, I watched the second leg of Sunderland Coventry, and Haji Wright, he missed so many chances. I think he's a good striker, but he's just, yeah, sometimes he can blow hot and cold, can't he? He can sort of frustrate you. But yeah, just miss out on playoffs. Be heartbreak for the Cov fans, but yeah, there's just so many good teams in those playoffs. Starting with in 6th place, Norwich City. Obviously, the manager there, Liam Manning, he got probably, a team that isn't as good in terms of quality in my club Bristol in the playoffs last year. I think he's going to do exactly the same with Norwich. They're spending big money because they lost Borja Sainz to Porto. That was big money, wasn't it? So we got in a goalkeeper, Kosevic from Sporting, Medic the goal. Sorry, not the goalkeeper, defender from Ajax. Kvistgaard, big, powerful striker from straight out of Denmark. Amadou Diallo from Metz, a tricky winner, looks to be a good signing. Topic in the midfield, Makama from Lincoln. Harry Darling, of course, from Swansea. Yeah, we're making brilliant signings. Jacob Wright comes back from Man City. Brilliant signings. And to add to some experience with Jeffrey Schlupp in the midfields as well. Brilliant stuff. And if you keep Sargent and Kvistgaard, then that could be a deadly front two, seriously. 5th now, I've got a Leicester in 5th. Obviously, the points deduction. I think they'll still be okay. Probably, I mean, it's crazy that we still don't know how much it is actually going to be for Leicester. Surely they are going to get at least some points taken up, because it's been heavily rumoured. But yeah, literally there's one signing, Begovic in goal from Everton. Yeah, they haven't really done too much. We lost Jamie Vardy. It's still a good squad, Leicester. They got, obviously, what's his name, Cifuentes from QPR. It's new manager there. It's an interesting managerial appointment. I didn't set the world light of QPR. They look good at times, but a bit inconsistent. I think Leicester will sort of be the same, but I think we'll be consistent enough to get into the playoffs. Into 4th place now. It's the playoff runner-up in the final, Sheffield United. I think we'll get playoffs once again. That winner, Ihaji Kaki from the Bulgarian league. We signed Polin Dokov, a fullback from the Bulgarian league. I'd like to shop in Bulgaria this summer. Tyler Binden, that's more a familiar name on loan from Nottingham Forest, centre-back, because he was at Reading, I think, last season, so brilliant signing there. Louis Barry is a brilliant signing as well from Aston Villa. Obviously, got injured at Hull, but we've seen what he did with Stockport. He's class. Sumari in midfield on loan from Braga. We lost Vinny Souza to Wolfsburg. We lost Ahmed Hodzic actually to Feyenoord. Brewster goes to Derby. Could they lose Hamer in the midfield? I'm not so sure. I think you're still good enough to get playoffs. Obviously, Tom Cannon's there, Campbell's there up front, decent strikers there. So yeah, 4th place, I've got Sheffield United. 3rd place now, just missing out on the top 2. These teams literally just came up from League One. It's Birmingham City. They're spending big money, aren't they? You hear about playing in the background, they're flying to the Premier League. Damari Gray's back from the Saudi League. He was at Birmingham before. Osai Samuel, we've seen him from QPR, he's a brilliant player. Furuhashi, clinical goal scorer for Celtic, man. Obviously Fujimoto, got that Japanese connection there. James Beale, goalkeeper loan from Brighton. Tommy Doyle from Wolves, Cashin from Brighton. Yeah, very real outgoings, really. Alfie May, but they've got Furuhashi and Stansfield. They'll be fine. Playoffs, maybe could even win the playoffs. They're going to the Premier League at some point, maybe not this season, but if it's not this season, surely the next season. They're just going to keep spending, and then their owners, when they're in the Premier League, they'll keep spending more and more until they eventually probably win the Premier League. And 2nd place, the top 2, no surprise really. Southampton in 2nd. Kouachi from Hoffenheim, I think he's a defender. Damon Downs looks a brilliant striker on loan from, actually no, we've got him permanently from Cologne, sorry. On top of that, we've got likes of Archer, Ross Stewart, Adam Armstrong. Yeah, because they lost as another striker on the watch to Trabzonspor. He was probably the one that had to leave in the end. Sulemana goes to Atalanta, Bednarek to Porto, Ramsdale's gone to Newcastle, but I think what's his face now? Bazunu, that's it. Yeah, he's a decent keeper at this level. Walker Peters has gone to West Ham, bit of a loss there on a free as well, but nah, still a brilliant squad for Championship level. Second place Southampton. I think that's quite an obvious prediction, even with Will still in charge. I think they'll be just fine. You know, he's a brilliant manager. We've seen what he can do in France. So yeah, I think a good squad there. They'll be straight back up to the Premier League. And in first place, again, straight back up to the Premier League, Ipswich. Kim McKenna, fantastic manager. Talk through some of our signings. Matthew Siwa, the Dutch midfielder from Rennes. Keep Prey on loan from Reims. Ashley Young from Everton, good experience. You know, they probably need, well, I wouldn't really say they need more really, because they've still got Philogene, Clark, Chaplin, Hurst, Burns. Yeah, it's a quality squad. Because they lost the Lap. They were never going to keep the Lap, I don't think. He's gone to Chelsea. Morrissey's gone my captain, which is, you know, a bit of a sentimental loss. Twanzebe goes to Burnley. So, yeah. Luongo's Millwall as well. Bit of a blow to lose him. You know, good experience at his age. But Ipswich, now they'll be fine. They'll win the league, in my opinion. They've got such a good squad for Championship. I'm actually scared to face them next year for Bristol City. But yeah, Ipswich to win the league, it's going to happen. 100 points maybe. I don't know about that in as a competitive league as this is, but yeah, they're going to do really well. Straight back up to the Premier League, and hopefully they stay up in the Premier League the next time I get there. But yeah, I've got Ipswich to win the league. And that is my predictions, guys. Yeah, let me know what you thought then. Of course, if you made it through this whole video, just want to say thank you, really. Thank you for watching me just waffle about the Championship. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys did as well. So yeah, again, if you did go and enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Feel free to join Discord. The link will be down in the description if you want to get involved in the score predictions as well. But yeah, that'll be it from me. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Leave yours in the comments if you're feeling brave. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care and goodbye.